doorbell at Jimmy's house. Now, when you come to my house, my doorbell sounds like this.
Hey, welcome to the People's Weekly. I'm too close to the mic. So yeah, we have a lot of stuff to talk about today, Glenn. So we actually started pretty close to on time. That's rare.
There's a first time for everything.
Yeah. So I'm sure you heard the great news.
Yes,
from
I
Compton.
did.
Some person walked up and blammed on two pigs, Compton sheriffs, two gangbangers. So that's kept me in a kind of happy mood all week. I'm watching all these right-wing people, man. I'm actually reading some of these right now. There are actually some of these cats are saying that the people that was across the street that just witnessed it and were as happy as I was about it should all go to prison for accessory. For what, man? You can't witness some police get shot and be happy like my community's a little safer. We got two less thugs on the street that walk around killing people and get away with it for however long they off the street.
Well, obviously, the people making these remarks, their universe is strictly binary. It's us, them, and, since at heart they're all just pussies anyway, of course they want to be friends with Mr. Policeman.
Yeah, well, I mean, I don't know. This is. Let me explain this to the people who might not know why we don't care and we're actually happy about it. A lot of people, especially people in Los Angeles that deal with these pigs all the time, is because the Los Angeles Sheriff Department has a minimum of 5 gangs in it. I mean, terrible terrorist gangs. And the little dude, what's his name? Andres Guardado, I think. He was 18 years old. Guardado, yeah, he got shot in front of his job as a security guard. Well, one of them pigs went and snitched on one of his homies, and it turns out he was trying to get a tattoo, because what they do is they murder somebody so they can get put on the gang. Like regular gangs, they just say, how bad are you? We're going to surround you by 5 of your homies and stomp you out, and you better fight back. But the sheriff's gangs want to do it another way. They want to murder somebody. And what kind of a thing is that, man? If you know you're going to get away with it, who cares? It's not even a risk. It's not even anything. You're just shooting somebody and you're going to get away with it. They don't prosecute pigs. Never. That's why people are happy. Because there's 2 murders that aren't going to be out there murdering people for a while and getting away with it. I was watching this video on Instagram a couple of days ago. I think it might have been by Sean or Andy. Sean was one of the dudes I interviewed about the Tujunga Nazis. So in this video, they're interviewing a police that murdered somebody. And he's over there laughing and talking about, oh, you guys are so silly. This dude's a murderer. He murdered an unarmed person, and he's on a police line at a protest. And oddly enough, I got a video with this same guy. I filmed this dude in the streets a couple times. And I got a video, one of those Trump. It was in Beverly Hills a while back. It was one of the first times that Trump people tried to come to Beverly Hills, but they didn't. They got kind of pushed out of there. You can look back through my videos. It's the Beverly Hills Trump ones. This guy's in there. and he's wearing a suit, walking around undercover. And I walk over to him like, I know you. And his whole face changes. Like, you don't know me. I say, yeah, I do. I filmed you a lot. What are you doing here in a suit? Where's your police outfit? He got all flustered and jumbled, telling me I didn't know who I was talking about. He looks weird. The dude got these big eyes and this bald. He looks like Smeagol. Nobody else looks like that, dude. And when you film that dude, you're like, oh. I mean, I don't know. Why is this guy still in the force? He's a murderer. But he's still in LAPD. And the sheriffs are even worse. They get away with it. Like I tell everybody, talking about the sheriffs are so awesome. Look at their past leadership. Where is Tanaka? Where is Lee Baca and Peter Tanaka? I think I said it last week. They're both got charged with all kinds of stuff, intimidating federal agents, all the way down to brutalizing people in the prisons, and they're in prison themselves right now. Lee Baca might have got out, I don't know, but yeah, they're horrible, corrupt criminals, and they were the head sheriffs.
Yeah. So
now we got this jackass in here. He blamed the reporter because she wasn't from a well-known news agency that they could, you know. Alex Villanueva is a sick person.
That just floored me. It's like, so there are levels of press that get different levels of abuse? Like, is that what he's saying in effect? That's what it sounds like to me.
That's what it is with LAPD and Los Angeles. Anywhere in LA, that's how it is. I don't know about other places. But when I go, I had my People's Radio press badge. I'm just as valid as any of them. What's the difference? Because I don't have corporate advertising, I'm not as valid as them. Yeah. At least I'm out there telling the truth. Mm-hmm. I'm not lying for the pigs or the government like they do. I'm not bowing down because my corporate overlords that pay my salaries are saying, oh, you can't say this or that. I say whatever I'm going to say. Yep. So there is a huge difference. But yet when all the press gets to go somewhere, no, you're not valid. You don't have a credential. Get the fuck out of here. But it always happens to me, you know, always. And yes, I'm just as valid as all of them. And if you pick up a camera and walk in there, you're just as valid as all of them too. Because see, there's a thing called the First Amendment people don't like to talk about. And it includes freedom of the press.
Yep.
So all these people screaming, First Amendment, I should be able to sit there and scream racist things at a Nazi rally. No. You should be able to film the Nazi rally. You should be able to dissent against your government. But it seems like most of the Nazis are on the side of the government, and they always have been.
Yeah, it's pretty hard to say have an anarchist Nazi.
They tried. They really tried. They were trying to call themselves anarcho-fascists.
That's a paradox.
It is, but it's ridiculous, and these people are that ridiculous that they try to do that.
Whatever. I mean, that's like trying to make a club for African Caucasians. Like, hello? It's not likely. And say you're a nativism club. No, sorry.
You know, during apartheid, they probably tried.
Well, yeah, those are different clubs. But I mean, you know, I'm a long ways away from Southern California, but over the years, I remember a lot about the LA County Sheriff's Department. And, you know, it's come up again, and it's come out in the news this week. Like, people, think about this for a minute. They have actual gangs inside the police department. You know where else in California has that? San Quentin.
Well, that's where the sheriff's gang started, in prisons. It used to be the prison guards, and then it expanded out into the streets.
Yeah. So, I mean, these are the people who are supposed to uphold law and order. And they have basically rifts with other gangs within their department, and they play the same sort of testosterone-driven stupidity games, just like in high school, just like in prison. And the only difference here is they have licensed weapons and badges. Otherwise, it's the same.
And they don't got to hustle because we pay their salaries with our tax dollars. Like we said before, they ain't nothing but a state-sponsored gang. That's the only difference. They can get away with every crime another gang gets locked up for. I think it should be all or nothing. I think every hood should have the freedom to get away with all their crimes or none of them. Take your choice, you know? Why because you're state-sponsored, you can get away with stuff another hood can't? You're scum. Y'all murdered somebody to get a tattoo. They're complaining, these fascist Nazi scum right-wing jerks and even the Democrats and all of them are all complaining about these people were laughing and mocking these poor sheriffs that got shot. Okay, well, let me tell you something. When the sheriffs murder one of us, when one of these gang member sheriffs from the executioners or whatever gang they had, they murder somebody in the streets, an innocent, unarmed person, for fun, you know what they do? They have a party where they get a tattoo. And now they're in their little sheriff gang. How come nobody's saying, how come they're celebrating the deaths of the people they murdered? Nobody says that.
Yep.
Nobody says that. Man, pigs are scum. That's just the way it is. And until we abolish them, it's going to be like this. And cats got to fight back one way or another. It's just the way it is.
The other thing that gets me is it's so obvious that just about every member of these gangs within the sheriff's department is white. Because if you've seen any of the stories about the tats that they get when they get in this gang, it's like, hey, this ain't no small tattoo. You're not trying to hide this. You're trying to make this into a fucking billboard. You know, like I mean,
a lot of cats in the sheriff's and police wear those sleeves where they hide their tattoos.
Yeah,
a lot of them do that, and they're not all white. Just so you know, like remember a long time ago, I interviewed Alex Salazar from the Rampart division, the crooked, corrupt Rampart. He was Mexican, but he thought he was a white supremacist. He said that. He said I felt just like I was one of them. You know, they'll sell out. Yeah, there's other races, but when they join that Nazi scum gang, it's like the Proud Boys or whatever. It helps them say we're not racist because we got some self-loathing cat with us that's going to say everything we say and talk bad about his own people.
Yeah, that's true. I understand. Yeah, I should rephrase that. They all think white because, you know, I mean, I'm old enough where I hear about a homicide as an initiation. I think about the teardrop, you know, and look at these fuckers. They're basically getting a sleeve that says, I killed somebody. I'm in this club. You know, I mean, it's just so different. It's just so different. Wow. But yeah, you know, I mean, like I said, I'm a long ways away, but I saw that video. I saw the unedited for network consumption video.
I've seen it about 1,000 times. Man. I'm loving it.
But I mean, the point is, I can watch it and I completely understand why, how. I'm surprised there's not a fuck of a lot more.
I wouldn't be surprised if that wasn't just some quote unquote person that hates the police. I wouldn't be surprised if it's a relative of somebody that they murked, you know? I wouldn't be surprised at that. Not Absolutely. At all. Not one bit. Because in reality, you know, in a lot of places, it doesn't matter that the cops murdered somebody, especially if you know what's up. It's just another gang murdered my family member or my homie or something. And I'm going to deal with just like any other gang. Because I don't care if they're wearing the Nazi brown shirts or a red rag, blue rag, brown, you know, green rag, purple rag, yellow, orange, whatever color. The sheriff's just another hood to them. And that's the way I look at them, too. It's just a little more complicated in my mind because what they're doing is way beyond just gangbanging. It's terrorism.
Yeah, it's legalized banging.
Legalized terrorism.
Yeah. And that's true because, like you just said there, it's everybody's the same. You want to whack somebody that we love, we know, guess what? Payback's a bitch. And, it's obvious that the way police departments like LA County sheriffs, what they consider to be justice and justifiable, they are so lucky that other people don't feel the same way. Because as you were saying that, I was just thinking about a few of the innocent victims that the media has found out about in the last few years. And you think about the family of George Floyd. You think about the family of Philando Castile. You think about the family of Tamir Rice. They're all very distraught. They feel robbed, which they are, but they have the opportunity to say something completely different when they have that opportunity. And how thankful should society, especially white society, be that the families of those innocent killed people, African Americans, didn't have something else to say to the world about how their loved one was just taken for no reason. They could have said there and said, an eye for an eye, brothers.
And they should have.
Well, it's justifiable, I think.
I mean, you name three people. Well, we can go on. Ezell Ford, Brendan Glenn, Victor Valencia, Freddie B, my homie, another one. Yep. I mean, it's ridiculous, man. It goes on and on. Those names are never ending. What I tell you just before the show, Glenn? I said they shot 2 pigs. I said we got about 637 more before we're even close to even for this year.
Yep. That's the thing that doesn't get talked about. And yet you tell somebody that fact the first time and they just look at you like you've got 2 heads. They just can't believe it. This year, Yeah, I know. I mean, this is the thing that blows my mind. Like I said, I see that video from Compton and I'm like, okay, today was the day. And that's it.
I got all excited. I was so happy. I was hoping they was gone, but they both somehow survived. Y'all got to aim a little higher sometimes. Like the Air Force says, aim high. But no, man, I hear these jackasses all the time on every social media platform I'm on, especially my YouTube and Twitter, because they're a little bit bigger. Instagram, nobody knows who the hell I am over there. But I hope you never have to call the police. I hope nothing ever happens where you have to call 911. And I'm like, why? Why would you hope I didn't have to call 911? Because I hate police. If there's a fire, I'm going to call 911. I'm hoping fire truck come, not some police. If someone gets in a car accident or injured or shot or anything, I'm going to call 911 and hope an ambulance comes, not the police. If I get robbed, and I'm not calling 911 for what? What? They're going to come and take a report? They're not going to get my stuff. It don't matter. There's no reason you need to call the police. They don't stop stuff. They come after the fact and take a report. Because like we said a week or two ago, when the shit goes down, the cops is hiding behind cars. Or they come in and shoot the one person trying to stop the shooter like they did many times.
Yes.
Like that black security guard had the white shooter down and they came in and shot the black security guard. Black guy with a gun, shoot, shoot, shoot.
Yep.
So they saved the shooter and murdered the good guy with the gun, quote unquote, that they're always bragging about. Yeah, there's no situation. You call, oh my God, my son with Down syndrome or whatever, he's acting weird, he's suicidal, maybe you can have someone come and help. They send police to come and murder her. There's the help they get.
Yep.
There's no reason I would ever call police. For what? They don't do anything. They're useless. I mean, if I'm speeding, they'll pull me over and give me a traffic ticket. If I'm not, they'll give me a traffic ticket because they got a quota. They'll arrest people for no reason because we have a quota. Like Homegirl, the reporter, they arrested 148 PC. That if you film police or you deal with police a lot, you're gonna know 148 PC is what they use. That's what they arrested me for. Interfering in police business. It's just vague and it means nothing. It's just something to get you off the streets and make you have, look, we have power over you. We're charging you with something. And it gets dropped 9 times out of 10. Because it's their go-to. It's their go-to.
And it's a way to get you on their system grouped under that code. So I'm sure, there must be a list or something then, right?
Yeah, I'm sure I'm on it if it is.
No, but I mean, doesn't that make sense? I mean...
Yeah, just to get you in the system. Yeah, just to get you in the system.
It's a nuisance charge and it's a flag.
Yeah, but I mean, then I guess if you get arrested, it's like, oh, look, we've had him in before he's a troublemaker, blah, 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 blah. They scandalous, they stupid, and they need to be abolished. I'm sick of the defunding people, y'all.
Yeah.
What is defunding going to do? You going to take half their money? You still got militarized police with tanks. It's billions and billions and billions of dollars that we're feeding these terrorist soldiers occupying our streets.
Well,
we need to abolish them altogether, fire them all, buy. Like, what the hell? Over here in LA, you know what I see, Glenn? Every day now? School police driving around. Ain't no schools in session. Why are you paying these people? Lay them off.
Wow.
Fire them or lay them off. What are they here for? Why are they making money? They're sitting in a parking lot eating, sitting over here chilling, reading a book, looking at their phone. No. Why are we paying our tax dollars for these people to do absolutely nothing?
Yeah, that one don't make sense to me.
It's ridiculous, man. I'm so furious about it. It's past it. They murdered enough people. And then as soon as they get murdered, they cry and release the video right away. We ain't seen the videos from half the people they murdered this year.
Yeah, that's a big one right there.
But two cops get shot. You see the video. Why didn't we hold that for investigation? Because, you don't know all the facts yet. We have to hold the video so we could frame for you what you're seeing. They released it right away. Then shots and pictures and this and that. We should have that every time. When the police murdered Victor Valencia, instead of going through and stealing all the cameras and footage and we never get to see it, it should be released immediately or they should all be fired. If you can't release a video of your murder to prove you're innocent right away, then you should be fired. There's nothing else. Why are you there? That's hiding evidence. That's just stupid, man. Everything within their power is always done to get these pigs off. They do everything in their power to get this guy off or a woman or whoever it is that shot these cats, these 2 pigs, because we don't know all the details. There might have been they might have feared for their life. I couldn't see through them windows. Those pigs might have been threatening. They might have been throwing gang signs at them. Who knows? They might have had a knife. It's not funny. That's why they murder everybody. They might have a knife. We got to murder them.
Well, I know, but I mean, just to say that, there is equal opportunity between both sides, that's what made me laugh. But, you're talking about the hyper militarization of especially urban police in the United States. But I mean, that's the other thing that just doesn't get talked about enough. This is a situation where the federal government is front-ending and back-ending to move this hardware out of the military down to law enforcement. I mean, this is a money operation now. This is it's part of the complex that all this old stuff gets passed down to the cops and the money all works through and everybody's happy.
It's got to stop. It's got to stop now. It's got to stop yesterday.
Yeah.
Because see, here's the thing. We're supposed to feel so sorry for the woman pig that got shot because she had a 6-year-old son. She was a mother. Tamir Rice was a 12-year-old boy murdered in 2 seconds by a drive-by of cops that didn't even stop to blink to see if he had what he had.
Yep.
How many people were they shot mothers in front? They shot what's his name in front of his 2 kids in the back seat. Come on. These people are all mothers and fathers and sons and daughters too. I don't want to hear it. When you stop murdering people's relatives, maybe people stop worrying about, retaliation. Trump's calling for retribution. That was retribution. He got what he asked for already.
Well, the thing is, when people talk like that and say, oh, this cop was a mother. Meanwhile, all these other people who have been killed weren't brothers, sisters, fathers, mothers, but this person, you know what that is? What type of communication that is? That's fascist communication.
Exacto mundo. Yep.
There's no other word for it. And it's becoming the default. You can
propaganda.
Expect, yeah, but you can expect that's how you're going to hear it before you hear it, because it doesn't change. It just gets louder. Welcome to fascism.
But they shoot a black person who's somebody's son or mother. Oh, they must have smoked marijuana. They did this. They did every kind of thing they could think of. In high school, they got into a fight. They were violent. Anything. They're going all the way back to every little thing they did. A long time ago, they stole some candy and got charged and, whatever. And then you got all the right wing. They were horrible villains and criminals and blah, 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 blah.
Yeah. Dehumanization.
Get over your cop worship and soldier worship and political party worship. None of these people, these are the criminals. From the president on down, your favorite politician that you love, whether it's a Squad people or Pelosi or Trump or Schumer or McConnell or whoever it is, they're a criminal. They're scum. Yep. They are Biden, Harris, all of them. I'm naming all of them. They are guilty of mass murder. Let's say that again. They're guilty of mass murder. It might not be here, but it's somewhere overseas. We just murdered a million Iraqis with this guy Bush, who's now looked at, and Obama, both of them, who's now looked at as Obama's looked at as the greatest president in history. Fascist piece of crap. And then you got Bush, who's now like, he's not so bad. He's just a cool dude. Michelle Obama's gonna hug on him. They're both fascists. They're both warmongers. They're both responsible for so many murders around the globe. No gang anywhere can say they've done that kind of damage to anything. There's not a gang alive that's done more damage than one president, one Congress member, one senator, one police department.
That's not as inflammatory as you would think. That is the sad part of it. Everything that you've said, I'm sure, with enough access to the correct sources, you could find numerous examples for every one of those situations you stated. Because, like we've said before, and like I've said on my show many times, people always say, how come the good people don't want to run for office? It's because the good people aren't allowed anywhere near real power. Either they can't handle it and they're going to leave, or they just won't be let in because you're not going to do what we want. You're not corruptible. You're not going to turn into an egomaniac like the rest of our recruits that we control with our hand up their ass. So, yeah, no thanks. We're not interested in paying for you to get to office. It seems so ironic for people in this day and age to ask, where are the good people? The good people aren't allowed in. This isn't a game for good people. This is a game for fucking assholes. And we vote for them. Yay.
You gotta love it all the way up. It's all the way up. These idiots. These stupid constituents are sitting here oh, my guy's so great, your guy's so bad. And it goes on. I mean, look at these QAnons, for God's sake. I told you we were going to get on a tangent today. It just popped up. Look at these QAnons. Look at these QAnons. They're insane. Child sex trafficking, pizza places, this and that. Just making up stuff on top of it. Yeah, child sex trafficking is a huge problem all around the globe. But the problem comes when their guys commending literal child sex traffickers, and they're like, oh, we're going to ignore that because he's still great.
Yep.
And he's probably been involved in them, but he's still great. And then the other side's like, no, not our guys, it's your guy. How about it's all your guys doing it? How about there's a lot of sick rich people in the world that think they own everything, and I don't know if they're bored or just twisted in the head, but they want to harm children. And I don't care what side of the political party aisle they're on, they need to be stopped. You can't say, oh, this is my guy. This is my guy, so he's okay. We're going to ignore everything, every allegation against my guy, but their guys are bad. And the other people are saying the same thing. It's the same thing with blackface. It goes all the way down to everything. You got that Norton dude, whatever his name is, black. He's still in politics. Why didn't they kick him out? Because he's a Democrat. But the Republicans do it. The Democrats go crazy. Anyone in blackface, redface, or any kind of racist BS should not be in politics. Should be immediately put out. Shouldn't be a question about it. You did something racist. You can't be in politics no more. You lost your job. Bye. We're not waiting for a re-election. You're gone. There's an empty seat right there. I don't care. Because we're not going to have these people in politics, but they won't do that. They're like, our side needs to be in there. Your side needs to be in there. No. You're just as bad as the other side. I don't get how these people don't get that. This is why I'm an anarchist.
But, the thing is, too, I mean, this is an inside game that the parties play. We're setting people up and then, going on these witch hunts, and these people have to go, but our guys who did it, they're okay. They've repented. This kind of shit. It's an inside game, and they really don't give a shit.
There's no repentance for child rape. I don't care if you're a Republican or Democrat. You should be gone, but they're not.
Well, I know that. But, I mean, the way they look at it, it's going to be in public. As far as they're concerned, they'd rather do all this shit behind closed doors and have their little fucking fights. But, there's also a lot of money to be raised, so that's why the public's around. But the thing is, it's so, again, just so predictable. It's like whatever you're saying happened, either you or somebody you sit with has already done it. That's the guarantee you can take from every one of these things that comes up. It's just like Goebbels used to say, accuse your opponent of what you have done.
Sound familiar, huh?
Yep. So, I mean, this is the thing that really bothers me about the political bipolar us-them thing. They're all on the same team. Frosted Flakes, Corn Flakes. And it just keeps getting bigger and louder and bigger. Like, can't people add 2 and 2? It's all the same shit. Only the names change. And the amount of donations changes. That's the real issue. But I mean, especially with the pandemic, I mean, this thing from Bob Woodward.
Fake news.
Idiot.
Fake news. We have tapes.
He actually said it. I mean, this is like they're going to be looking at this in PhD courses, thesis, in 400 level psychology courses over the next 100 years. This is a total megalomaniac, narcissist who has the most powerful job on the planet, and yet he is so in awe of the legend of Bob Woodward, it's almost like he dares not lie to him. It's amazing. in my opinion. This is just,
But-
that's
but-
the bigger story.
But then he claims he didn't say anything. He said on tape. And then you got his goons out there, like, what's her name, McEnany or whatever. She goes out there and is like, well, you know, he said it like this, but he didn't mean it like that. What he said was, or you have to listen to the last part of what he said 5 minutes later when he just said the opposite of what he said the first time. It's insanity, dude. I don't get it.
Well,
People
it's
want to be
just-
lied to. People never elect politicians that don't lie because there are no politicians that aren't liars. So people
That's
want to be
true.
lied to. That's what they want to elect liars. Don't complain about people lying if that's all you do is just support and uplift and elect liars.
No, that's
It's
true.
ridiculous.
But the difference here is this is Bob Woodward. This is the most highly
Watergate.
esteemed. Yeah, this is the most highly esteemed journalist alive in the United States. And for good reason. You know, a lot of people say he ain't done fuck all forever, and, you know, why did he sit on this, etc., etc. I find that pretty funny for people to say, too. Look at your culture. Look at what this White House has done for the last 4 years. How many people worked there, got fired or quit, and like 3 weeks later, there's a goddamn book out? So why didn't you go public when you worked for him? Why'd you save it all for your book? Because that's your culture. Make money. And that's why Bob Woodward did it. So you can't expect Bob Woodward to behave differently than the rest of corporate America. Fuck you. You just don't like that he waited. But at least it came out. He didn't have to print it, but he did. So I
Yep.
think people should be a little more grateful for what he did do instead of when or how he did it. But the thing is, they can say everything they want. There are a lot of people who vote without fail in the United States, and that demographic remembers a lot more about Watergate than a lot of other people. And
Yeah, but-
there's no talking out of Bob Woodward. He can't recover from this one.
I don't know. I'm like whoever is president, whoever quote unquote wins this next election is going to have unlimited power thanks to these jackasses in here now. They're not going to give power. Don't give power away, dude.
No.
No. So they're going to have unlimited power to do whatever they want, and who's going to stop them? And then if you get one party in all three, the House, the Senate, and the executive, it's over. It's over. Those nice Democrats ain't going to be so nice no more. Those evil Republicans will be even more evil than you can imagine. It's leading up to the same thing. It's just, you know, they're all going diagonal toward a common point. And when we hit that point, no matter who's in office, it's over. It's over. I've been telling people, as soon as the election results come in, I'm typing out, we're doomed on every social media platform I have. I don't care who they choose, quote unquote choose. We're doomed. That's the way I look at it.
I think this is the change in the last 50 years. Even fascism is different now. In all the times in the past, from the Nazis through the Romans, through everybody else, fascism was based on a political ideal. The politics drove it, and everything else fell in line. What's changed now, in my opinion, about fascism is it's controlled corporately. It's controlled with money. And the politics fall into line to the money. That's what's changed. And that's why in the United States, it doesn't matter if it's Republicans or Democrats. They're both fascists. That's the game. And they want to play.
Yep.
They want to be the ones rolling the dice. They want to be the ones with the whole card. That's all that's at stake in November. Who gets to put their stamp on it? Who gets to direct who wins and who fucking loses? That's the only difference.
Yep. You know, today's the 15th of September. So 4 days ago, everyone was all whiny about 3,000 dead people in New York. in 2001. And they're crying about this. Well, almost 200,000 people are dead in the last 8 months because one of the wealthiest populations on the planet can't seem to give its people health care or do anything or even support its people. Y'all got money till the end of the year with your government. We don't get that. We get nothing. We give all our money out to defense contractors and cops to come and brutalize and murder us and go slaughter people overseas for profit. That's what we get for our tax dollars, while y'all getting health care and getting your money back to survive on and people's rents being paid. We're getting people evicted. Our homeless population is increasing. We're getting nothing. Oh, yeah, and you people that keep saying California has the highest homeless population because you're all crap. The whole country's crap, first of all. But second of all your homeless people come here because they don't want to die of frostbite and freeze to death in the winter.
Exactly.
You know, and if you hate us so much here in California, let's not pay federal taxes anymore so we can stop bailing out the racists that think we're so terrible over there that are on welfare. You know, you white racists on welfare crying about California is so terrible. Well, let us stop paying. Let us stop giving you socialism. How about that? See how you like it then.
Well, before the pandemic, in, quote unquote normal times, California itself is the 5th largest economy in the world.
That was exactly why I said what I said.
Yeah. So, I mean, there you go. And we get the same thing in Canada, too. Ontario is the engine of the country. It always has been. It's got, more than half, or no, about half the national population. Toronto has the metropolitan Toronto area has as many people as Alberta, Saskatchewan, and Manitoba put together, just in Metro Toronto. So, I mean, it's kind of like California and listening to these fucking zeros like Wyoming and the Dakotas. Shut up. You guys couldn't even fill Orange County in your whole fucking states, so shut the fuck up. I mean, I get it.
We got to move on in a minute, but it's so stupid, man. These people are so brainwashed. I wish we could just go slap the crap out of everybody in the world one time until they just wake up and be like, oh, we don't need these governments. We don't need to be oppressed by these people. We outnumber them. And in a lot of cases, in a lot of countries, we outgun them.
Yeah.
So let's just take our stuff back and not deal with them anymore. It's that simple. And the whole world do it. We got 6 billion, 7 billion people to their few hundred, maybe a million or two, maybe 10 million max. There's not that many rulers and government officials. The people outnumber y'all. Even with your police and armies, we outnumber you. Y'all need to realize that. And we need to realize that. And we need to rise up and say no more. It's done. I'm sick of these genocides. We're about to talk about the genocide going on here in a minute.
Yep.
Because what's happening right now in these ICE facilities that we've been telling you need to be abolished. Like, ICE is irrelevant. We don't need them. We don't need them. They haven't been here very long. Bush created these jerks. Ooh. They've been raping women, raping children, letting people die of curable diseases, brutally beating people, and now we find out in the last 2 days they've been giving mass hysterectomies to immigrant women, which is what you call eugenics in most parts of the world. I don't even know what to say anymore because your precious squad was the ones that funded ICE. Abolish ICE, abolish ICE, abolish ICE doesn't mean abolish ICE. Abolish ICE means reform ICE. And then here, Trump, here's all your money for ICE. That's your AOC right there.
Yep.
That's your precious AOC. Women are being sterilized in masses because she signed some paperwork. Because all of them
Or
did.
not. Or not. I mean, like, it matters at this point if they sign anything or not.
I'm saying they support it.
Yeah.
They all support it. They're all sick people. This should be stopped. I don't know. Really, we need a war. We need someone to come in and free these concentration camps, or we need to do it ourselves. What's that dude that died trying to get a concentration camp? William, oh man, last year the police murdered him. He went over there and started shooting up their infrastructure and trying to make it so they couldn't do it. He didn't hurt nobody. He was just trying to take out infrastructure, and they murdered him. I can't think of his name right now. Another hero. Man, we need to unite. We need to do something, because this is insane. You worried about child sex trafficking, while the ICE detention centers, as they call them, or concentration camps as they are huge. It's a huge racket. These kids, they got witnesses getting shipped back, kids getting missing from their families. We don't know where they're going. They're deporting toddlers. They're deporting children alone. What do you think's going to happen? They separate people from their families. They sterilize the women. They brutalize the men. They torture the children, and then they send them back where they don't even know where they are. Or they send them back to their country with no relatives or no, it's terrible. This is right on par with every other genocide. And if you think Biden and Harris are going to stop this, you better think again. They're going to stop this like Obama stopped Gitmo, or Obama brought the troops home. Political promises are worthless. They're meaningless. They ain't worth anything. So whoever wins, these concentration camps are going to keep on running unless what? Somebody stops it. And I'm talking about a politician. I'm talking about Bernie Sanders is not doing nothing. None of these people. I'm talking about either the people here armed go stop it, or another country comes in and stops it. That's it. So, it's a time right now where that old song, "Which Side Are You On?" is real. Which side are you on? Everyone need to stop and think, which side am I on? Am I with the people, or am I with the pigs? Because there's only two sides. And a lot of these jackasses choose the pigs. Get on then. Get on then, because it's on when we see you. It's disgusting. Go ahead, sorry.
No, again, we're back to that F word. Because, just in a more in a more macro look at what's been happening since Trump came in with immigration. I mean, now, after basically almost 4 years, there's new information about how an unknown amount of minors is about as specific a term as you can get. They're children that were taken from parents at border crossings. It seems thousands of them ended up belonging to a Christian adoption agency that has as a director none other than Betsy DeVos. Now, that's not a surprise to anybody who knows the DeVos family and what the fuck they're all about. But this is, in fact, this is as fascist as you can get. This is using the power of the state to steal children and give them to what you consider good Christian folk. This is as fascist as it gets. And then you go over to other departments, as in things Stephen Miller has done and Jared Kushner has done, that there's absolutely no regard at all for human life. It's merely accounting. There's money to be made. And then you take a look at what's being blown all over, rightly so, about the ICE facilities. Now, Jim, you're right. This is eugenics. And as soon as I heard about this, there's only one name in history I thought of. Josef Mengele.
Yep.
This is,
The butcher.
I can't think of a more severe infringement of someone's rights than taking them prisoner in a strange land, giving them no rights, and you invade their bodies. I can't think of anything more disgusting.
Probably while speaking a foreign language, they probably don't even know what you're saying. Some people, I mean, you lock them in a cage. They don't speak English. And you got these sick ass twisted doctors over them, cutting parts out of them. Straight Nazi stuff, man. It's straight, just like, you know, when the Turks, the Ottoman Empire attacked the Armenians, you know what they did? They castrated all the men and cut their right arms off. Sound familiar? They just don't want their enemies to breed. They don't want those that they think are below them to breed. It's nothing new, man. They've done this in this country. What do you think they did to people when they brought them over here from Africa? Enslaved them. This stuff has been going on since before the first president, George Washington. It just got really popular with Andrew Jackson. It's been going on since the first whoever put their feet on this country, subjugating people, raping children, destroying. And it's still going on today, just more quote unquote civilized. Nah, it's not civilized. It's savage and it's barbaric, and it has to stop. People, oh, they're going to stand up for it. No. You know, there was people fighting slavery back then. People don't seem to think it's just the way it was. There was abolitionists. There was people dying to fight that. There was white people fighting that. Yep. There was black people fighting that. There was people that just knew owning people and treating them like this is wrong. How come there's always people that see the right way, and there's so many people that be like, it's just the way it is. It's just how it is. You can't be mad. It's not happening to me. It's disgusting. If something's happening to one human being, it's happening to all of us. Did I say human being? I meant being. It's happening to all of us, man. We have to start seeing, like, you know, if somebody's hurting, we're all hurting. If I'm hurting, you're hurting. We're all connected. It's just stupid. If you have two dogs and you start beating one of them, the dog's not going to be like, yeah, I didn't like him anyway. You'll be like, why are you doing this? Every other animal has more empathy than we do. We're just such scum creatures. I don't know.
But see, you just revealed something there, though. I mean, animals, domesticated animals, are not sentient, and we don't directly communicate with them, so we can't really influence the way they think so much. You know, we can on commands and stuff like that, but, you know, they don't have thought processes. So,
yes, they do.
But all they go on is their instincts.
Us too.
Pure. Well, if we did, we wouldn't be like this. I mean, I see what you're saying.
They don't go beyond it. I'm okay. I see what you're saying. They don't go beyond it. They stick with what's natural and real. Yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry. I misunderstood.
No, I get it. I didn't explain it too clear, but yeah, they just go with their instincts, with what they know is right, what's best for the collective. I mean, they probably came from a litter, so they learned that. And I mean, look how foreign that is to the way the so-called first world lives now. Everybody's a king. I guess in some places people are allowed to be queens too, but you know, it's really the king who's important. And everyone can be a king. Everything is about acquiring assets for you because you matter. That's what this society sings all the time, nonstop.
It's learned behavior. And if it could be learned like this, it could be unlearned, and we can go back to caring about each other. It's going to take some generations and people raising their kids right. Everywhere. They got to get rid of all their stupid nationalism, all their religions, all that crap that separates people, and say, look, we're all one giant group of the same species. Like, you know how other species have different colors, we do too, but we're all the same. Like, no one's like, well, I guess there are breedists in dogs, but that's people, humans. Dogs don't do that. A poodle doesn't be like, I'm more awesome than you, pit bull, because I'm bred different. They all came from wolves. I don't even think they know. Some dogs don't even understand their dogs. It's just.
Yeah, well, on that one, the pit bull could just say, "Yeah, well, you're a fucking 200 times crossbred, inbred piece of shit, so fuck you." But
Yeah.
that's a whole nother thing. But I mean, if you humanize dogs, that would be exactly what you would get. The same tendencies. And I think that's why, like, Orwell, Animal Farm, and stuff like that, I think it's very interesting to take the human social model and assign different animals to it. Like, even that is just so bullshit, and obviously decided by people, not like the animals actually indicated they would be a certain character better. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just that we have the ability to create our entire world. Whether it's true or not is another story, but we can create a world that we want to live in. Hopefully it's the one you actually have. That would probably work out better in the long run, but only we can do that. And the powers that be and the monetary forces that be know this better than anybody else. They know it better than we do, obviously. That's why we're in the condition we're in. I mean, look when another non-contact tribe in the Amazon, like, they fucking COVID's moving in on them or whatever. And if you ever see any footage of these people and stuff, like, just notice how they do everything. It's so completely different than the way we live, Everybody
And they're together.
Yeah. And everybody pays attention to what everybody's doing. It's not, what am I doing? Look at me. You never see anything like that.
Yep. It's I am because we are. We all together in this. That's the way it should be, man. But you got these people. I mean, you can't even take care of a person that's living on the street in a tent without talking about, I hope the police kill him. I wish they'd firebomb him. I hate those dirty, filthy people. How dare them have a cell phone? It's like, what's wrong with these people, man? That could be you. We talked about it before. It's a whole tangent, but especially right now during this, man, the population of homelessness is going to boom. If they don't do something about these rent. A lot of people haven't paid rent. A lot of people haven't paid bills. And when it does, a lot of you are going to be like the people that you're saying you hate so much that you think deserve to be murdered just because they don't have anything. So, think twice about what you wish for.
Yep. No, things aren't going to get better. I don't see how they can because of the way they've been set up to this point. But as far as eugenics in U.S. detention facilities in 2020, again, like you said, like Joe and Kamala are going to change this? I doubt it.
I mean, ask Native people. They're still going through this stuff now. Yeah. And they're the indigenous people to this land, and they're being treated like immigrants that they hate, like these immigrants that they hate.
Yep.
They've been going through this for years, having their kids snatched and their cultures stolen from them, everything taken from them, their land stolen, the promises, the treaties broken over and over again. I mean, they just got attacked by the police during the Obama presidency, trying to save their land from pipelines going through, because pipelines are dangerous and cause fires. And the government said, there's no evidence of that. They don't. And then what happened? Oh my God, they're on fire. Like, come on. It's just so ridiculous.
Well, I mean, again, that all kind of points to, like I said, we now live in corporate fascism, not political fascism.
Yeah, I know. It's the same thing. It's just a different person in charge or institution in charge or whatever.
Yeah, but the difference now is it's not so much like with Jackson and Custer and all that, where it was more political and even more religious to do it. Now it's just because of the money.
It's good business, but they still have the I guess I don't want to bash the people, but they have the people that believe what they say.
Yeah.
And they use the religion and the nationalism. I mean, Trump's been doing that nonstop.
Yeah.
He has people that would hate everything he does according to their religion, talking about he's so great. He's the closest thing to Jesus I've ever seen. I mean, and it's not an anomaly, because if you go to Turkey, look at Erdogan and his supporters. It's very similar.
And how many sources in the U.S. have you seen call Erdogan's flock a cult? More than a couple. You know, they'll call another cult a cult, but the cult right here, no, that's not a cult.
But it's the same thing. He uses their religion
to,
like they said, he thinks he's going to be the caliphate or whatever, caliphate, however you say it.
Yeah.
But here's the thing: he's doing the same thing: nationalism, Turkish pride, Turkish this, Turkish that, and you have the religion. You know what I mean? And and he's in the back. He's supporting ISIS.
Yep.
He was supporting ISIS. He was one of their biggest supporters. And here we are supporting him, the United States. It's just so twisted and so crazy. Something got to give. Somebody's got to wake these people up, and we got to do it. It's just like right now, it seems impossible.
Well, when I hear or see some of these stupid old white fucks saying that Trump is almost the second coming, I think, there's absolutely no difference between you and the guy out in the middle of fucking nowhere in Iraq with an AK saying how Muqtada al-Sadr is Ayatollah, close to God.
Yeah, exactly.
It's the exact same fucking thing. But yet those people are fucking crazy. But
they're just a different religion. And then you got this QAnon that Trump is teaming up with Jesus to save the world from all the Democrat pedophiles and demons. And the earth is flat. I mean, come on, man. Come on. How do these people believe this stuff? And then you got people that just believe parts of it. They're like, oh, that's just silly. But, the pizza place is real, right?
Yeah. Again, this is like a buffet of fallacies. This is what's available to people now.
It's a CIA op. I'll put money on that. I bet you in the future we're going to find out. It's like everything else we find out with CIA ops. It just reeks of a CIA op. If it's not a CIA op, then it's a marketing scheme where some dude's getting so rich off this, or some group of people or whatever. It's got to be a CIA op. They got all these people in on this. And it's even funnier because the people are like, deep state. We can't be controlled by the government. But we love Trump and the Republican government. And the CIA who's deeper state than the CIA? Come on now. I think they're trolling with this one a little bit too. Like, let's just throw in deep state in here and let them go off on that so we could laugh and be like, who do you think's controlling you? Yeah, it's crazy, man. Now you got soldiers and cops and cats in ICE and stuff and Border Patrol that got these patches with QAnon.
Yeah.
That's dangerous, man. So you got these white supremacists, conspiracy theory or nut jobs in positions of power where they can murder people and get away with it. Destroy people's lives and rape children and get away with it.
Well, I mean, this is really no different than in Weimar Germany, when police and the postmen and people with public jobs started wearing their Nazi party pin. It's the same goddamn thing as these cops wearing this badge.
Yeah.
Same thing. Absolutely.
But we have history. We know what's happening. We've seen it happen many, many, many times before. Fascism take hold. Camps go up. People start suffering, dying, murdered. We see it happening all around now in different countries.
Yep.
And it's happening here too. It's never stopped. It just moves around with these sick people that get in power.
Yep.
Everyone has to fight it. You can't, like we always say, the it's that last third. You got a third of the people that are totally with the fascism. They hope they kill everybody except their people. You got a third of the people that's like, no, we're going to stop these fascists. We're going to fight to the death. And then you got that third that's like, yeah, it doesn't really affect me.
Popcorn.
Yeah. And those are the ones. If you just join, one side or the other, let's get it over with. But it's always been like that through history. When people don't know history, people don't know their own history. And if they do, they don't comprehend it.
Or it was
just
told to them in a bullshit way.
Yeah.
There's that too, because I'll tell you what, you can take a course on the American Revolutionary War in the United States, and you could take one anywhere else. And I'll tell you what, it wouldn't be the same fucking course.
I bet not.
Especially if you take it in Ontario, in Canada, where all the Iroquois were fighting with the British. So, yeah, it's going to be a little different.
I just can't grasp the concept of these people, man. Like, look at occupied Palestine. They got these white people over there who went through a genocide not that long ago.
Yep.
Not that long ago at all. And now they taking part in one. You got, I'm sick of these Armenians here in the United States that are like, so America and Trump and Jesus and all this and that. Y'all went through a genocide. You should at least read and know the history. I think a lot of them don't even know what really went down. But you should know the history of this. You should know why it happened, what happened, how people were tortured, and say never again are we going to let this happen in any way, shape, or form, even on a smaller scale. Why can't people who have been oppressed in the past step up and say not again? How do they always side with the oppressor and be like, well, this is different because it's us on the top? No. Don't work like that. You're just as bad as the people you hate.
And I think there is one country in the last 100 years that has emerged to take back their lands and have
Germany.
have actually kept that deal. They have never sided with the oppressor, with the one committing genocide. They have always stuck up for the people who were there first, for the people who deserve to be treated a lot better. And that's South Africa. When they got independence, and that started with Mandela, he made a real big deal about thanking all the countries that stood with the black man in South Africa and got rid of the Afrikaners. And ever since, he's long gone, but to this day, the Republic of South Africa has never sold out any people who are being hoarded, executed, imprisoned. They've never turned their back on any group. They're the only country who's kept their word.
You're right.
And you never hear about it in North American press when they do something. You have to really look for it. When they come out and stand behind somebody, like they stood behind Maduro in Venezuela, how many people in the U.S. heard about that? Yeah, I thought so. And they stand out for the Palestinians time and time again.
Yep.
How many Americans hear about that? Yeah, I thought so. But yet when you want to make a movie about the South African rugby team, oh yeah, we're all over that.
It's just so stupid, man. Y'all need to wake up. Y'all need to really pay attention. Y'all need to read real history, not these conspiracy theory books y'all be having. If it has religion or nationalism, don't read it. Read different people's sides of the story. I mean, if you look at a diary of a slave and a slave owner, they could be talking about the same exact circumstance in two very different ways. You know, if you look at the oppressor and the oppressed, they see things very differently. The oppressor's never right.
Unless you ask them.
Exactly, but oppression is never right.
Yes.
Never side with the oppressors. Once you do that, you have all these issues. You end up like we are now all over the world. So I guess we've ranted today, huh? I see in the chat. Lots of flame today.
Well,
Yeah,
I mean,
I'm just sick of it, man. Now they're gonna have this in November, 2 months away. They're gonna pick another fascist. Who cares? It just doesn't make sense. You know, they say insanity is doing the same. The definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results. Yet these jackasses keep voting for the same two parties, expecting different results. Come on.
And the thing is, it's not even that. It's everything else. My God.
Yeah, it's everything else and that.
Yeah. So, I mean, not only are we dealing with COVID-19, which isn't going anywhere. It didn't disappear overnight. It wasn't a miracle. Not only that, look at where you are, California. This fire season is unbelievable. I mean, that smoke is reaching well up into Canada now. So, you know.
Hey, were we talking about it before or during the show? We were talking about it before the show. Oh, some people believe that there's a scientist explaining the science behind fire for those people who don't believe fire will cross the Canadian border.
Yeah.
And we kind of, before the show, we were talking about this, and we said humans are like the only species that stop at borders. Fire don't stop at borders. No other animals stop at borders. Birds don't stop at borders. Fish don't stop at borders. Bears, turkeys, penguins, no animals stop at borders except humans. We're like, oh, look at the imaginary line. We got to stop. We don't want to cross that.
Well, we're not allowed to.
And fire, we're just like, what person's stupid enough to think fire is going to adhere to a border? Adhere to a border. Adhere to a border.
Well, that's
like, oops, I don't want to go into Canada because I don't have my paperwork on me. Yeah, it doesn't work like that with fire. It's a natural element.
Well, we got out the old asbestos blanket there, eh?
The only border fire is going to adhere to is a border with water.
Yeah, pretty much.
Or something non-flammable that it can't get over or around, you know? Oh.
But you know, again, that was just basically all came off as we've been discussing, the abject stupidity of people who look at data from the U.S. Forest Service and see all the updating stops at the Canadian border. So, of course, the fire must stop there, too.
Oh, someone sent me, a racist sent me some statistics. It said in the United States last year, the police shot however many unarmed, I don't have it right here, but basically it was like they shot, I think it was 16 or 19 white unarmed people and only 9 or 10 black unarmed people. So that just proves there's no racism. So I had to say, statistics don't mean crap without context. The United States is 76, I think, percent white and 13% black. And I didn't hear nothing back from them since then.
Damn.
Yeah, they were like, darn it. Those pesky population numbers just threw off my cool statistics. Yeah, it's just ridiculous.
Well, they're going to try. I mean, this is the other side of the coin. Like you said, it'd be so nice if people would just wake the fuck up, but there just doesn't seem to be enough incentive for people anymore
I love
to know the truth.
I love the black on black crime people. They're the best. they're so butthurt when you tell them, of course there's more black on black crime because it's in a black neighborhood. I mean, people kill in proximity. If you go to Orange County, there's going to be a lot more white on white crime. If you go to wherever, if you go to wherever there's people of another race, there's going to be more crime in between them because people kill where they're around, and we're pretty segregated here still. So yeah, in a place like, you're going to have white on white crime where there's white people, black on black crime where there's black people, Asian on Asian crime where there's Asian people, Latino on Latino crime where there's Latino people. Just kind of the way it is. And sometimes it crosses over across races. And oddly enough, a lot of those times are people being attacked because of their race.
Yeah.
So, yeah, they just come up with this little stuff, and they feel so proud when they first come up with it. Then you shoot them down real quick, and then they don't respond or block you or something. You
Troll
got to use your
100.
You got to use your brain. Even the racist, if you're going to say some racist quote unquote facts and quote unquote statistics, then you better know what somebody who has the real statistics in their pocket can come up with, because literally everyone nowadays has statistics in their pocket. It's called a cell phone. I could look up any population. I could look up whatever I want. So what? I'm sorry. I'm ranting again.
Well, before we run out of time, I want to ask you. I saw the response outside LA County Sheriff's headquarters, how there was like maybe 30 people, and they came out with 50 or 60 riot cops. So we know what's been going on there lately, all the people camping out in front of Garcetti's and stuff over the last month. What's going to happen now after the Compton ambush, quote unquote? What's going to happen next, do you think?
They raided the Black Unity camp in Grand. They beat up a lot of people, injured people, wouldn't let people get help. I hear they're putting. I've been actually working a lot lately, which I need because situation. I need money, and I've been working, so I haven't had a lot of chance. That's why I haven't been filming a lot of all the time like I was. But yeah, they raided the camp, and I think the people are back because they're asking for tents and stuff. They're just the pigs are just going to be more brutal now because two of their little gangster homies got shot, and they're brutal anyway. So more brutal. I mean, everyone's like, "Ooh, just wait. Who cares?" I mean, they murder people, they beat people, they destroy lives every single day. They step it up a little. What is it really going to mean to anybody? It could be you any day anyway. So we really got to deal with the core problem, which is that we have these pigs all over the place, militarized, and they can get away with any crime they commit. Well, no, I'm lying. They can get away with any abuse, robbery, murder of a civilian. If you take money from the police pension fund, like that one dude did, he's got kicked off the police force. He's going to jail. If you fondle a dead woman's breast, you get kicked off the police force and talk bad about and go to jail. If you go into a bathroom at a stadium for baseball games and take pictures of dudes, Johnsons using the bathroom, then you get fired and charged with stuff. But if you murder people, it's all good. That's how it works with LAPD and the sheriffs. All three of those situations are things that they were actual cops fired for recently. But none of them was for murder. None of them was for just brutalizing anybody. You got the unions will be like, oh, no. So yeah, it's just disgusting. It's just disgusting, and they're going to step it up, and hopefully the people will step it up.
Well, that's my other question then. What about the other side then? Is this going to make it look like you can get away with this?
Like we said before, of course it is. But like we said before, the people are the problem. We divide ourselves some kind of way. Like everyone starts, when did they listen to everybody? When were they about to do whatever the people wanted? When everything was on fire and mayhem was ensued everywhere and things were getting burned and looted. And Beverly Hills and all the rich people were terrified. And the mayor was like, I can't even go home. That's when they were ready to meet some demands. Then people started shaming other people, snitching on people, turning people in, peaceful protests, I didn't know violence was breaking stuff and burning stuff. Violence is killing people and brutalizing, beating people. Property damage isn't violence, and self-defense isn't violence. Sometimes self-defense can be violent, but it's not violence. It's self-defense. You see what I'm saying?
Yes.
So, as long as these people are shaming people, I can't. Sometimes, I'm sorry, when I go downtown, I get really aggravated. You got people marching in the streets, and then this is a peaceful protest. Why does it have to be peaceful? Why do you have to advertise that? Are we doing this for the media, or are we doing this for justice? Because you got so many people that want to pose for cameras, and they're there because there's media there. There's one person, I think I mentioned it before, they will literally, wherever the cameras are, go and do these poses, even if it's in front of police, whatever, to get all these crazy poses, and then you see them posting this stuff online. I'm like, wow, you're really out there just to get these nice shots of you looking like an activist so you can run for office or do everything you're doing in the future, I'm sure. It's just, you can't do that. It's just let everybody do their thing. If you're angry, you should be able to tear stuff up. They murdered people. So what you're saying is the cop that murdered somebody over and over and over and over again, that's okay. But burning a building or smashing some windows or taking some stuff, that's worth so much more than a life, right?
Yeah.
No, it's the other way around. None of that stuff would be happening if they didn't murder somebody. Time and time and time and time and time and time again. Unarmed people. And then they come out and attack the people. And then that's when stuff jumps off. That's when stuff jumps off. These cops have a chip on their shoulder. They have a us against them mentality. They have a war on the citizens that they've had forever. Civilian citizens, whatever you want to call the people here. The cops are at war with the people and always have been. And then two of them get shot and they're like, oh my God, war on the police, war on the police. What are we going to do? This is a travesty. You killed 660 something people, man. Two of you really doesn't matter.
And you talk about the outrage and the opinion of vandalism and property damage, how it's such a crime. Well, gee, what political mentality would foster that attitude? Corporate fascism.
Capitalism, fascism, corporatism. Yeah, exactly. But these people, they just all turn on each other. You got these people on everything talking about, no, we're not here for... We're here for peaceful protest. Peaceful protest. I haven't seen only violence I've seen at protests is coming from police.
Yep.
Every time. Or the Nazis that show up sometimes that want to attack people. I mean, that dude in Portland, these Nazis came, he shot one of them because they murdered 3 people the night before in another city. So a Nazi comes armed, he gets shot. You know what happened? The police go and execute this dude, and Trump says, good job. I think Trump even insinuated that he called the troopers and told him, go kill this guy or something. Or go get him. I hope you're going to get him. Why is the White House getting involved in state or local matters? That doesn't make sense. When a Nazi gets shot, what about the 3 activists that the Nazi shot before? He's calling him a hero. He was defending his property, crossing state lines with guns he's not supposed to have, protecting his property. That doesn't even make sense.
No.
But this guy who lives here, part of the community there, shoots a Nazi who was coming to do harm to the people. He gets murdered and he's a terrorist. Come on now, man. It doesn't make no sense. It's just like you said. It's that Goebbels stuff. Flip it. Joseph Goebbels, however you say his name. Flip it backwards. Nothing's just what it seems. It's...
Well, just like when you were mentioning the CIA, I mean, I was thinking about the famous quote from the former director, William Colby. We will know we have been successful when everything the people believe is false. Everything.
Yeah. I didn't know who said that, but I do.
So we can just manufacture the truth and sell it as the truth. When we can do that, we've won. Well, take a look around.
They won.
Yeah. Fuck.
Man. On that note, man, anything else you want to talk about before we go? Because I think we're getting close.
No, just say another good impromptu episode brought to you today by Blue Dream.
Oh, yeah. And GDP, and for those of you who don't know, is Granddaddy Purple.
Right on.
But it's an anesthesia on my end, so just to be, cards on the table. Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know how this is going to pan out, but hopefully the people win. The people, not people.
Yeah. But hey, it's a long saga. That's the only way they can keep the revenue coming.
It's been going on like 4 or 5, almost 500 years now, right?
Yep.
Hopefully it'll end soon. Sooner rather than later. I think 500 years is enough. I really do.
Yeah, set a blacksmith in the middle of medieval Britain somewhere. Yeah, we're still here.
Oh, well. All right. I guess that's it. And you know what? I like these tangent shows where we just have because things are changing so fast, We can get back to the structure, professionalism we used to have soon enough, but times are crazy. We need crazy shows to fit the crazy times.
No, there's a lot. Well, it's just a different way of doing it. I mean, this is truly a live show for today. We couldn't do this show with this information on any other day except the day we're doing it.
Yep. So yeah, that's probably how it's gonna be for a while. But thank you as always, Glenn. You're awesome. And thanks to all the people listening. And we'll probably be back. Yeah, the Pope. Why doesn't the Pope do something? Can he pray to a deity and have it all solved? But he doesn't. He's involved too. Yeah, that's it. So hopefully we'll see everybody next week. And if not, the week after that.
Yep.
All right, we're out.